Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, everyone. Alan Harris here with Seminole County Office of Emergency Management. We wanted to give you an update today on COVID-19, the coronavirus here in Seminole County. I will be looking at my other screen a little bit because it's got some general information that I wanted to make sure that I provided to you today. There's been a lot of changes, of course, since the last time that I met with you all and discussed the COVID-19 response, and we here in the Emergency Operations Center have been active now for a little over a week and a half. Prior to that, of course, we were still doing emergency planning and preparing for the possibility of a positive case here in Seminole County. And of course, now we have 6 positive cases here in the county, and we're responding to those individuals. We also have a few folks that are in their homes and they're quarantined, and that could be because they came in contact with someone with COVID-19, travel related, so they're coming back from Europe or some other location. So we are helping those individuals as best that we can as well. We have activated a citizens hotline, so if you have any questions about COVID-19, if you have any questions about epidemiology, if you have any questions about where to get tested, if you have questions, anything related to the response to COVID-19, please call our citizens hotline. It's 407-665-0000. Again, 407-665-0000, and that's Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That we will have that open. And then there's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week hotline in Tallahassee. The Citizens Hotline is staffed by emergency management personnel and Florida Department of Health. So there are folks there that can answer all types of questions, so feel free to give them a call. We are updating our website quite regularly. Lots of changes, and their changes are happening daily and hourly in some cases. So you can go to our website at any time, get the most updated information at prepareseminole.org. Again, prepareseminole.org. We launched a text group, so we'll be able to provide direct text messaging for certain types of larger type important pieces of information. You can text 888-777, and you'll want to put in COVID-19 info. No dash, you don't have to do a dash for that. COVID-19 info. Text it to 888-777. You'll be signed up to get alerts here from the Emergency Operations Center for those larger type of events if we need to inform people. Of course, we are on Facebook, as you know, Nextdoor, Twitter, and we're providing information on that. We actually are on Instagram, and I know some of y'all follow us on Instagram, so we're providing information on every platform that we can possibly provide. As I did mention, we have 6 positive cases of coronavirus, COVID-19, here in Seminole County, and there's some others that are being tested. So we are working very closely with the Florida Department of Health and Center for Disease Control, and they're working very in partnership with us. They're here in the Emergency Operations Center. They're in the call center across the hallway, taking your phone calls. So, and then of course they're at their offices doing epidemiology surveillance, and we really appreciate the partnership that we have with them. What we're doing right now is intelligence tracking. So we're working with the families of the quarantined that are in their homes. We're trying to provide wraparound services for those individuals. So food services, if they need child care, if they go into the hospital for some reason, medications, that could be just their standard medications, heart medication, insulin, things like that. Or animal care. So if they have an animal and they need some animal care assistance, we're helping them with that as well. The Florida Department of Health epidemiology team is working with the laboratories and the clinics, and we are very happy that some of the private labs are now coming online. So there are multiple facilities now in Seminole County that can test for COVID-19 and actually get the lab results. So we're extremely happy about that. We wanted to also let you all know that we have been working with our faith leaders, community leaders, Yesterday we met with assisted living facilities and nursing homes. Over 60 facilities were on the webinar with us, and we were discussing protective measures, protection of nursing staff, isolation methods, limited visitation at those facilities to make sure that the clients, our most vulnerable population when it comes to COVID-19, that they are all taken care of, and there's enhanced cleaning services and things like that to protect those individuals. So we worked very closely with the nursing homes, faith organizations. A lot of faith organizations have closed down their in-person operations and have gone virtual, doing online services. I know my church has done that, and quite a few other churches have done that as well. The libraries are closed. They closed yesterday at 3 o'clock, and that was in concert with some CDC guidance. At that time, it was 50 people or more, any locations where there were 50 people or more, that we should go ahead and close operations. So we went ahead and closed the libraries yesterday at 3. A little bit after that, about 4, the president did a press conference, and he suggested 10. So we're looking for that guidance to come out from CDC. That guidance hasn't changed right now, so it's still 50. So that's still our messaging is 50 because that's the guidance from the Center for Disease Control. But if that does change, we certainly will let you know. In the libraries, though, we have elections going on, so some of our libraries serve as polling places as well. The polling places are very, very clean. They have been sanitized. There's sanitation. There's sanitizers there. There's enhanced cleaning that's going on in between each individual that votes. The voting office the polling locations are open between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. today. It's very safe to go do so. There was some information that came out that you can go ahead and bring your pen if you'd like to bubble in your vote. So we certainly want you to exercise your rights as an American and go out and vote today if you're interested, and know that it is safe to do so. Spoke briefly about the libraries. Want to talk about the parks. Seminole County's, all of Seminole County leagues programs are canceled. Leagues will resume spring schedule in April. All of the field rentals, including tournaments and local rentals, are canceled through March the 31st. All pavilion rentals are canceled through March 31st, and refunds will be issued as necessary. Again, all libraries are closed at this time. That includes community centers such as the Midway Community Center, the Lily H. Green Community Center. Refunds will be issued to those individuals that have that. Campground rentals, so in our natural lands, the campground rentals are not affected by these closures. The county parks are open, so we have a lot of natural lands, a lot of wonderful trails, hundreds of miles of trails and bike trails. Our natural lands are open. Our trails are open. This is a great time to see Florida's natural choice. Enjoy Black Bear Wilderness Area or the Little Econ or the Wekiva Park area. Beautiful state parks here in Seminole County. We are surrounded by Florida beauty, so please, there's plenty of things to do. You don't have to go in Seminole County. You don't have to go to the theme parks or some big event to have a good time. You can certainly just enjoy the natural beauty of Seminole County, and we encourage you to do that during this event. The Seminole County Environmental Services has suspended any disconnection of water and wastewater services for non-pavement. We understand this is a very difficult time for some folks, and some people may be out of work, so we're not going to disconnect services. We understand there's an economic challenge when businesses close, so we want to make sure that we are as good to the residents as we can be. So Seminole County Environmental Services, water billing, those will not be disconnected during this event. For wastewater or water, you can call the customer service office if you have any questions. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and you can call them by calling 407-665-2110, or again, you can just call the hotline and they can transfer you 407-665-0000. Again, 407-665-0000, and they can help you out with that. I wanted to put a thanks out to Harvest Time International up in Sanford and the Sharing Center in Longwood. Harvest Time International and the Sharing Center are helping us to provide meals for those that are quarantined. So donations are accepted online for both of those organizations. They are nonprofit organizations that open their hearts to us, and they're providing food services, and we are boxing those foods up with their volunteers and then getting them to the quarantine families so that they can have food to eat. So we really want to thank again Harvest Time International and the Sharing Center. Again, to keep informed, we want to give you a couple pieces of information, then I'll go to some questions. The first thing that I want to push out again is the website, prepareseminole.org. Prepareseminole.org is going to have the most current information. There's a lot of city closures that have taken place. A lot of cities have closed their parks and services. That's all going to be located on prepareseminole.org. We're working very closely with all of our 7 cities. In just a few minutes, I'll be meeting with the city managers to get some more updates. And then those updates, as soon as we get those, will be posted to the Prepare Seminole website following that meeting. Our hotline, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, 407-665-0000. And then we have the text group. If you're interested, COVID-19 info to 888-777. Now let me look and see if we have any questions here. How many cases are here in Seminole County? So we currently have 6 positive cases here in Seminole County. And I am looking at the list right now, and we have about 40 other individuals that we are monitoring in some way. So 6 confirmed cases, about 40 other cases that we're monitoring. That means that they may have been tested, they could be sick, or they came back from some travel to some specific areas which were considered high risk, so CDC wanted to monitor those people a little closer. Got some thanks for closing the library. Thank you very much. We just felt that was the most important thing to do. How about closing bars and restaurants? So we're looking to Governor DeSantis to make a decision on that. Right now, we don't have any plans to close bars or restaurants. I know that some restaurants have self-closed, if you will. They have takeout services, and certainly we want you to go and patronize our small businesses, our small restaurants that have takeout services or drive-thrus. So feel free to order online, give them a call, and they'll prepare the meal. That's what I did last night. I have plenty of food at home, but I wanted to patronize a small business that's just down the street from me. So I called ahead, ordered us some meals for the family, drove down there, actually gave them a little extra tip because I know this is a really hard time for them. Think about that for our small businesses. We want to keep them in operation. They're still cooking and they're still doing takeout. So feel free to do that. If you do go to bars, of course, now the directive from the president is 10 or more people. 10 or less people. So that's going to be very difficult in a bar. Any bar that I've been to, it has more than 10 people in it. So you may want to reconsider going to a bar at this time. So that is completely your decision. There's no issues related to bars or closing of bars in our community at this time. What was the number again? I think that means probably the Citizens Hotline. I'll give you the number, 407-665-0000. Again, 407-665-0000. Gina asked about how many test kits are available at this time. So it changes. We got a shipment in, I think it was yesterday, of a couple hundred. I know that there's another shipment due, I want to say today or tomorrow, so that'll bring another few hundred to the community. So we are starting to get those. We didn't have those, of course, before. There was an issue with that. We have started to receive those on a quite more frequent basis. So we are at a relatively good spot right now. to be able to test. And again, some additional private labs have come online, so people can go to those labs. So what I want to talk about, though, before that is if you think that you want to be tested for COVID-19 and you are sick or you're not feeling that well and you think, hey, I could have been exposed, I've been in wherever you've been, call ahead. Call them, let them know you're going to come. Don't just show up to an urgent care center. Call them, say, hey, I'm coming in. I think I may have COVID-19. These are the symptoms that I have. Protect our nurses. Protect our nurses. These are our heroes in this situation. We do not want our nurses quarantined. If you are feeling unwell and you just run into an urgent care center and you say, I may have COVID-19, now the individual is quarantined. So they could be quarantined for up to 2 weeks. So we want to protect our nurses. We want to protect those first line individuals in our medical clinics, our urgent care centers, our physicians' offices. So please protect that resource. They are very valuable. I want to put out just say how much I appreciate nurses out there. Thank you for what you're doing. There's a question here. Naomi's asking a question about schools. So schools are closed until March the 30th. Right now there are, if you have free and reduced lunch, the school board has set up 7 schools where you can get that. We have that up on prepareseminole.org. So those individuals that had free reduced lunches, there are some schools, 7 of them, that are available for breakfast and lunch. So those are set up. Jacob asked about why can we not get tested. So I would call the Florida Department of Health Epidemiology, or you can call a CentraCare. Let them know that you want to be tested. Let them know why. So what type of symptoms you have. You have to have the symptoms for this. So, if you call and you say some symptoms that are completely unrelated to COVID-19, there still is a limited number of test kits. So, I've got an upset stomach, and we are getting those calls. I got an upset stomach and a migraine, and I want to get tested for COVID-19. Well, that's not the symptoms of COVID-19. So, we probably will not test an individual that has a stomach ache and a migraine for COVID-19. But if you have the signs and symptoms of COVID-19 and you've maybe even been around a large group of people or things like that, there's going to be some questions they want to ask you to triage, and then they'll make a determination based on the symptomology. So CentraCares, you can call a hospital, but again, call them before you go in. Tell them what you got. Tell them what type of symptoms you have, so that they can wear the personal protective equipment that's necessary to protect them. Texting. So you want to know about information about texting, I think is the question. So again, COVID-19 info, don't use the dash, so just COVID-19 info to 888-777. We're only going to put out large types of information. So when we start to have the drive-through test facilities available in the county, of course we're going to push that information out, and there are plans to open something like that. So we'll be working on those types of things, and we'll push those things out. There's no specific closures for bowling alleys. You're just going to need to think about if that's something that you want to go do at this point. We're asking you not to be on common surfaces. So I don't know how you would use a bowling ball without being on a common surface unless you have your own. So just consider that. Beaches are busy with a lot of people. So Miami Beach, Miami-Dade, and Broward County decided that they were going to close their beaches. I know that there are other counties that are discussing this as well. We are saying that people should not congregate 50 or more right now based on the CDC guidance. Again, the president yesterday saying 10 or more, and that's based on the White House group that has come together to look at COVID-19. The White House group is made up of medical doctors and professionals. So, whether you choose to use the CDC guidance of 50 or whether you use the President's guidance of 10, certainly being at the beach with thousands of people exceed both of those. So that's just something that you're going to have to decide. Can you give the cities that have confirmed cases? So, so the confirmed cases are in homes, and they're interspersed throughout the community. So, but they are in their homes. A lot of those were travel related. There's a couple though that are spouses of individuals. So there may be a home actually with two positive cases. So it's really all over the county, but individually in their homes. So they're all self-isolating in their homes. There's no pockets or groups of cities or individuals in any city. There's not. I'm looking at the board right now, and there's not one city that has an incredible number and another city. And we're Seminole County, so we're not that big of a community. We're the third smallest county in the state of Florida by land size. So really, when you look at it, it's really just all over the county. Is the county going to provide free testing? Again, call Florida Department of Health, Seminole County, the epidemiology. You can call 407-665-0000, and they can get you information on how to get the test. And the tests, again, over there are being done through a nonprofit medical clinic, and that's for people that don't have medical insurance. That's for people that may not have funds or very limited funds, things like that. So yes, we are helping those individuals. How are medical staff being protected? That's a great question, Elizabeth. Again, I can't stress how important it is for us to protect our nurses, our doctors, the LPNs, RNs, CNAs. Extra personal protective equipment, extra training, gowns, gloves, specialized masks. Those things are all being provided to medical staff because we want to keep them as safe as possible. Because we don't, number one, want them quarantined, and number two, we want them to be able to do their job effectively and safely. So we're doing everything that we can to protect them. Where can I go if I have symptoms, Marianne? You can go to, again, call ahead. Call a CentraCare. You can go to a hospital. Just make sure you call ahead. Let them know these are the symptoms I have. This is why I think I have COVID-19. I want to come in and get a test, and then you can go ahead and call. You can call your primary physician's office. Some physicians' offices are equipped to do this. Not a lot, but some are. So just call your physician's offices. They may be one of the few that are equipped to do it. If not, they will certainly point you in the right direction for the information. County offices are currently open. All public buildings, all county buildings, all government buildings have signage now in front of the building that says if you have any sign or symptom, if you have a cough, fever, lower respiratory, difficulty breathing, return to your car immediately. Do not come in the building. Return to your car immediately, and it'll list a telephone number there. We want you to call that telephone number, and then we'll ask what kind of services you need from that particular public building, and then we'll bring the service out to you. We may just hand you, if you're looking for a building permit or something like that, we'll come out and we'll give you the building permit. We don't want you walking inside and coughing on anything, things like that, because then we have to basically shut down the office for enhanced cleaning. And that takes a lot of time. Everybody that wants a building permit now has to stand outside until we get done with the processes. So follow the guidance. There's some nice signs out in front. Please don't come into our buildings if you are not feeling well. Has the Florida Department of Health relaxed restrictions on testing, Kelly? Yes, they have. So they are testing at a much more frequent basis. In fact, I can tell right now that they're testing quite a bit because we've had quite a few come in just this morning. So just every couple minutes I see another one pop across the screen. So testing is absolutely taking place. There was a question about the city of Orlando prohibiting. I don't know what the city is doing right now. The city of Orlando. So I have some folks down at Buddy Dyer's office that I know real well. So after the call, I will call them to see what's going on, and then we will put that information up here on the website, prepareseminole.org, as soon as we can. There was a question about voting. Again, voting very safe. We're doing all enhanced cleaning services, spraying down everything, wiping the counters, all that. So again, we want people to take this very seriously, but we don't want you to panic. If the surfaces are being cleaned, which they are, if there's sanitation there, which there is, if every time that someone goes through it's being wiped down, the virus can't stay. So we want people to feel very safe, and that's what's taking place. We want people to be able to exercise their right as an American citizen. So we're doing that. We're continuing those services. So someone asked about the mayor of Seminole County. Helen, there's no mayor of Seminole County. So there's a chairman of Seminole County, and he has been with us continuously. He's been he signed every local state of emergency. So if you look at the local states of emergency, he's the one that signs those. He's been just an incredible leader. So I just got to, I will, and I'm not doing it because he pays me or anything like that, because technically he pays the county manager and county manager pays me, but he is an amazing man. I can't say enough about Chairman Zimbauer. He's been on the phone with us every single day. He's been communicating with me every day. So we don't have really a mayor form of government here in Seminole County. They do in Orange County. They have a mayor. In Seminole County, we have a chairman of the board, so there's board members. And I can tell you, Zimbauer is very plugged in. He's an amazing individual, and he's just really supportive of the troops, the firefighters, the EMS workers. He's given us the equipment that we need to do our job. So he may not be a big TV person. I guess they think I am, but he's here. He's doing an amazing job, and he didn't tell me to say something like that, but because you asked, I'm going to say it. In fact, he'll probably be embarrassed that I said it, quite frankly. That's the kind of man he is. So, but I will let you know that he's there. So we are getting near the end of time. I just want to quickly look and see. Good question about the laid off workers. Where can they get assistance? I think we're putting that on the website today. About there's some unemployment information. There's some assistance for people that are laid off. So we'll make sure that is on the website. There's a couple different organizations that are helping with that. So we'll make sure that we put that on the website. Our private daycare is closed. We haven't heard of that anywhere. So we looked in California, we looked at Washington, which are really the big hotbeds right now. Ohio, we haven't seen daycares closing. And again, normally babies, children, now there has been enhanced services. So parents aren't allowed sometimes to come through the front lobby. They can take their kid to the front. Then they're immediately they wiped down and all that stuff, and then the baby's taken to the back. So that's happening at a lot of locations. When you start to close daycares, you really pretty much start closing businesses down. So right now we haven't had any direction. We haven't heard anything about that in other states, but we'll continue to monitor that to see what's going on. What are we expecting for the schools? Again, the schools probably reopening on March the 30th. Enhanced cleaning is taking place right now at all of those facilities. So let's see. I think I answered most of these questions. If I didn't, we have a team here that will answer the question. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all the questions, but I really appreciate it. I'm just right at time now, so I really appreciate everybody listening in and monitoring. And we're going to get through this together. We are Seminole County, and Seminole County comes together. We've come together in hurricanes. We came together in '98 during the worst tornado outbreak ever. We came together during the worst flood during Tropical Storm Faye. We came together as a community after the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman trial. We are a community that comes together, and we will make it through this, and we will come together bigger and stronger and better. So I want to thank you all for being online today. We will make sure that we answer any of the questions that we weren't. Have a healthy and safe day.